Hey everybody, it's Jen here. I'm in my living room and we are going to do a workout today. Today's workout we're going to do is a balance and stretch class. We're going to do about 30 minutes, and what we're going to do is about a 5-minute warm-up, and then we're going to go into some standing balance, and then we're going to go down onto the floor and do a whole bunch of stretches. So what I want you to do is make sure your space that you're working out in is safe. You've got everything moved out of the way if you need to. If you have a mat, you can put that down. If it's a thin mat, go ahead and go on top of that mat. But if it's a thicker one, be careful. Maybe don't do the balance work on the mat. You can move to the mat when we go to the stretches. You may want to have a chair beside you for a little bit of support. Remember to modify any of the moves that I'm doing. If you're not able to do them, you can modify them. I'll give you lots of options throughout the way. And yeah, make sure you have a glass of water nearby. You can always pause the video and grab it if you need to, but have a glass of water, sip along the way, and let's get moving, okay? So I'm gonna turn on some music. Okay, so if you'd like, take your feet about hip distance apart, point those feet straight out away from you, and then the first thing we're gonna do is just pause there. We're gonna do a little roll with our shoulders. So up and around with your shoulders, some nice slow circles, one direction a few times, and then switch directions, come around the other way. Get those shoulders moving. So next, let's add in some legs. So let's go ahead and sit down and stand up. Okay, sit down and stand up. So what you're doing is you're pushing your hips back, bending from the hips, the knees, and the ankles. You're softening all those joints. As you sit down, you're maybe starting off with a smaller sit down, and as you get warmer, feel free to get a little deeper, sit down a little further. A couple of things you want to do while you sit down: push those hips back behind you, tuck in your core, support your spine by lifting up nice and tall. And from here too, you can add in a reach. You can come out front and then stand up tall and reach and lift. And hopefully you're gonna start to get your heart rate coming up a little bit, moving all these joints. If you want to add on to this, you can lift one heel up every time you stand, sit down, lift a heel, sit down, lift the other heel. Just alternate sides. Lift and lift. So another thing too, you can add on is a little squeeze of the glutes back there, wake them up. Okay, let's do 2 more of these. 2 and 1. Good, okay, come all the way up to the top, and let's take one arm up and over, do a big side stretch and bring it back down. Then the other arm, up and over, bring it back. So maybe you're inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. Big reach, and bring it back. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale. Good, finish her off there. Okay, let's get back to our legs, and we're gonna move side to side. So I want you to take a little step out and back in, then the other leg, step out and back in. If you'd like, bend the knee that you're stepping out onto, bend the knee. So every time you step out, bend that knee. Keep the leg that's left behind nice and straight. Go ahead and start pushing your hips back a little bit and tip forward slightly. Engage the core, pull up and in, feel the back working, and feel that nice stretch that's happening in the legs. If you want, stay right here, or you can add a little reach across. So you can take one arm and then the other, come across the body, press out into the palm, come back in, out and in. You can get some nice rotation in the spine and the shoulders here. And if you want, reach even further. Be careful to keep your weight over top of the leg as you step out and in. And then of course, connecting that breath if you want, breathing out, breathing in. Okay, let's do 2 more. Out and in. 1 more. Out and in. Good. Okay, come back to the center. Now take one leg and step it slightly behind you. So it might not be very far. You want to take your feet the hip distance apart, step back, press down the back heel, the front knee is slightly bent. So you're in a little lunge, and if you want, you can lift up and down here. Back heel lifts and the arms reach. So from the side, see it here. It's just a small move if you want, or you can make it even bigger by lifting that back leg, squeezing the glute, and doing a small lift of the leg. Feel the muscles in the back lengthening. Keep that core nice and long. And breathe, right? Inhale, exhale. 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, let's switch legs. So same things, draw your leg in, step back with the other one, drop that back heel. Front knee is bent, back leg is long, lift and lower. That back heel. And then if you want, add those arms up and down. And that lift if you want. Point the toes back there. Get that ankle stretched out, those toes stretched out. Big reach. Up and down and breathing again. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. one more. There you go. Okay, come on back to the center again. Okay, let's take our legs now and open them a little bit wider. Okay, we're gonna fold in half. So I want you to take your hands, put them on your legs, fold in half, just come halfway down. So you're pushing your hips out behind you, softening through the knees. As you push your hips back, you're gonna feel the back of the legs stretching, but feel the core pulling up and in to support that back. You can also rest your hands here, but lengthen through the spine. Now we're gonna let that upper body go. Relax it down, hands can come down. If you want, soften the knees even more. Feel free if you want here, you can stay down and just go from side to side very gently. Encourage that opening through the spine, through the ribs, back of the legs, all the way through. Now if this bothers you at all, you can come up anytime. But if you like, you can take your here back and forth for a few more and encourage that lengthening through the whole posterior chain, back side of the body. Let's do two more. And last one maybe. Come back to the center. And if you'd like, take your hands up here for support to help yourself up. You can push into the legs, or you can engage the core a little bit more and roll yourself up slowly, all the way up to the top. Good, and roll your shoulders out. Shake your legs out a little, whatever feels good. Get yourself set to do some balance work. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our first balance move. So I just want you to take yourself onto one leg. So you're gonna stand up with one leg out in front of you, and the knee can be as high as the hip if you want, or anywhere below that. You can always touch down the toes anytime you need, okay? But you can do a little lift here, so you can have the knee about the height of the hip. Once you're settled in there, find something to focus at, out in front of you possibly, that isn't moving. And then what I want you to do is think about the rest of the body. So the leg you're standing on, I want you to press the foot into the floor, all four corners of that foot pressed into the floor. And then you've got your ankle, knee, and hip joint all in a nice long line. You want to tuck your tailbone under just slightly so that your tailbone is facing down towards the floor. And that's going to help you engage your core, your pelvic floor. You want to brace the rib cage. So there, doing all of that, we've got our arms. If you want to relax at the side, you can have them at your hips, or you can add on even more. You can take them out to the side. We're going to add on an extension now, if you want, out in front. And the leg's going to extend out 6 times. So that was 3 already. Let's do 3 more, 2 more, balancing, 1 more, and then pause there. Hold the leg. Now you can take your arms up if you want. Hold them there. You're gonna bring them down, hold them there, or you can do 1 up and down, and the other arm up and down. So that's just gonna throw your balance off, challenge you a little bit more, up and down. You might find little wobbles happening. Let's do 2 more, 1, and then the other. Okay, let's bring it all down, relax it all the way down. Okay, shake it out. You might have felt that in your hip a little, in your quad muscle a little from holding yourself up. Let's try the other side. So find your focus, find your balance. You might wobble a little. Touch down anytime you need. You can also put that ball of the foot down if you need a bit more support, and do all the movements we're doing, but just have it on a tiptoe instead. So here or here, wherever you're happy, tuck the tailbone in, line that nice strong leg up, squeezing through the glute, lifting up and in, lifting up tall through the spine. So the upper body, I want you to pull your shoulders down and back, chest is proud, and then we have our ears and shoulders and hips all in a nice long line. So lifted and lengthened. So we take our arms maybe out to the side, or maybe on our hips, right? Wherever you're comfortable. And then let's take that foot. Let's go 6 extensions out front, out and in. So you can point the toes out there if you'd like. Let's do 3 more, 2 more, focusing, 1 more. Good, hold it there. Now if you want, the one arm can go up, right? Or both arms can come up and hold, or you can do one and then the other, right? Up and down, and up and down, just throwing the balance off. So little wobbles are happening, but you're challenging yourself through them. Let's try 2 more lifts, 1 on each arm. Last one, up and down. Good, okay, relax it all the way down. Good, shake it out. Okay, let's go into some tiptoe holds now. So we'll practice our tiptoes a bunch of times and then we'll do some holds. So you can take your feet about hip distance apart, or you can come in a little more narrow, makes it a little more difficult, your choice. So try wherever you're comfortable and just go ahead and ride up onto the balls of the feet and down again. So lift and lower. Okay, so a few things you want to think about here is you want to try and line that body up. You want to try not to be here. Falling forward is very normal to do a few times, and then you kind of, ooh, find your space and try and think about going up, and straight down again. Try and think about that. So lining up, tuck that tailbone under, lift up and in, shoulders down and back, and just feel the strength in the ankles as you go up and down. It also helps to look straight out somewhere at something to help you focus, something that isn't moving maybe, up and down. Okay, keep going, let's do a few more. Feeling the calves work hard, pulling up and in through the quads, up and in through the pelvics, all those muscles pulling up and in. Let's do 2 more of these, and 1 more. Good, okay, shake it out a little. Now if you want, you can do a little roll out of the ankle, so you can hold the foot up there and do a little circle with it. Again, working on a little balance. And then the other direction, feel free to do that. Or you can always have the foot down, doing the same thing. Roll it out here, or roll it out here, right? Or do the floating one, whatever one you prefer. Circle it around a few times, and then the other way if you want. Okay, so let's go back to those tiptoes, and let's do a hold. But we're gonna do something different with our feet. So I want you to put one foot in front of the other. Okay, so in a line now with your feet, pretending you're standing on like a tightrope or a balance beam. You got one foot in front of the other. You can have a wider space if you want, more narrow space, and you might find that it's a little harder than just standing with your feet beside each other. We're gonna go up into our tiptoes next. So if you want to from here, add a heel lift at the back. You can take both heels up, or you can take one and then the other, whatever works for you. Okay, lift and lower, check in with yourself, find that focus out in front. Now if this is too much, remember to pull back. You can always just stay here, pause here, and find that challenging enough, that's great. Up and down, try and keep those hips square, check in with them. You wanna try and check in and make sure that the hips aren't tipped back so that you have an anterior pelvic tilt. Think of your hips as a cup of water, and if you feel your hips pop out behind you, it might mean that your water is pouring out in front of you. So try and keep the tailbone tucked and your headlights straight ahead, up and down. Let's do 1 more up and down, and then let's take a pause, okay? Now we're gonna lift up and hold next. So when you're ready, lift up and hold. Stay there if you want. Now the hands can float out here if you'd like, or you can have them at the hips. Stand up nice and tall. Now if you wanna challenge yourself even more, go ahead and take your gaze and float over, look over to the side if you want. Keep your focus, come back to the center if you want. And then if you'd like, same thing on the other side. Turn the other way. See how long you can hold it. So you're feeling some work going on in the legs for sure. Come back to here, squeeze those glutes. Breathe and hold for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good, okay, release it, shake it out. Switch your legs around, let's do the other direction. Okay, so I mean other foot in front, not other direction really. Other foot in front, find your balance again, find your focus. Okay, and if you'd like, just stay here for a moment, add in the heel lifts whenever you're ready. Lift up and down, tuck under and in, pull up, brace with the rib cage, lift and lower, and where you're comfortable with those arms, hands in if you'd like, or out. Lift and lower, 2 more, and then we're gonna hold it up. Last one, let's hold it up this time. So come up and hold. Stay there, lift tall, breathe, concentrate, and really lift yourself up tall, right? You can have your heels a little lifted off the floor, or you can have them really lifted. Push, push. And now let's take our eye gaze if you want, shift it off to the side, throw that in there if you like, and then come back to the center if you want, and maybe over to the other side, and maybe come back to the center, hold at the end here for 4, for 3, and 2, and 1. Good, release it down, excellent. Okay, roll your ankles out, your feet out if you want to again. Okay, next I'm gonna grab a little sip of water, feel free if you want to. Okay, let's pick something up off the floor. So we're gonna do it on one leg. I'm gonna turn to the side to show you. So you're gonna stand on one leg. The leg, doesn't matter which one, but choose a leg, lift it up. Doesn't matter where this leg goes, it's just gonna float there. The leg you're standing on, we're gonna focus on that, and you're gonna soften. So actually, I'll turn to this side so you can see. So the leg I'm standing on is facing you. I want you to soften from the hip, the knee, and the ankle joint, and begin to bend down into a squat, a one-legged squat. And then once you get down as far as you're able to, you're gonna start to tip from the hip with that neutral spine. Tip from the hip, this leg's gonna shift back slightly, and the opposite arm of the leg you're standing on is gonna reach towards the floor. So you're gonna come down, pretend you're picking up something on the floor, Pick up your item and then push into the floor with the foot that's there. Push, 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 and lift yourself up gently all the way up to the top. Standing up nice and tall if you like. Bring the knee in front again to finish, and then release it all the way down. Okay, let's try the other side. So now, you're gonna stand on your leg, lift the knee, and it doesn't matter where this leg is, it's gonna float there and it's gonna shift wherever you're comfortable. It's gonna help balance you, so that's why you need to let it be. Then we're gonna soften the hip and the knee and the ankle, begin to bend down, keep our neutral spine, core is lifted, opposite hand reaches, we pick up, or maybe we just come close, right? We pick something up, we push into the floor, all the wobbles going on, keep it strong, lift up, feel the glute, lift, 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 out front, and then release everything down. Okay, let's do two more of those. We'll do one more on each side. Okay, so go back to your first leg, stand there, pause, breathe, okay? And you'll get a little bit better at it the second round. Sometimes you do anyways, we'll see. Okay, so start to soften the hip, the knee, and the ankle. Opposite arm is reaching towards the floor. Come down slowly, carefully, gently, take your time. Pick up your item, and slowly push into the floor. Push down, begin to lift, hold your core, lift, 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 all the way up to the top, and then let it all go. Okay, we'll do the other side. Finish off our balance work up here. Hold there, breathe, and when you're ready, begin to soften. Push the hips slightly back, bend at the hip, the knee, and the ankle. Come down, keep the spine, don't let it go, don't round it out, don't round out the shoulders. Pick up your item, push into the floor, rising up, push, 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 all the way, wobbling through it, lift tall, and finish it off. Good work. Okay, let's come down onto the floor next. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more work for our muscles before we begin to stretch them all out. Okay, so I want you to come down onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position. So you're gonna have your wrists right underneath your shoulders in a nice line. You can also be down on your elbows too with your palms facing down if you'd like. But here, we wanna be very careful with the spine. So if you're here or on your elbows, I want you to line that up. You also wanna press into the palm to spread the fingers, push out into the palm so that all of the weight is right there on that joint. Then you want your knees right underneath your hips in position there. And then I want you to check in with your spine. You want to try not to have a curved spine or a rounded spine. You want to have a little tiny tuck of the tailbone so that you can create a nice flat back, okay? And then from there, we're going to add in some moves. So I'd like you to take one arm, reach it out front, bring the arm beside the head, and bring it back down again. Then the other arm can lift up beside the head and bring it back down. And then you can take a leg if you'd like. Lift it out behind, bring it back in. And we want to do this nice and slow with control. We don't want to lift it up and let it flop down. Lots of control. Now from there, continue if you'd like, or go ahead and add on the next level would be to take arm and leg slowly together, lifting out. But the key here is to try and keep the spine as steady as possible when you do this. So you want to try not to move your spine. You want to pull up from the bottom side, so pull your belly button up towards the spine. Do a small tuck of the tailbone the whole time. So you're gonna feel this down into the glutes and the hamstrings in your legs. And then you're also gonna feel this in the shoulders, through the back and chest as well. So you can go to whatever level, one arm at a time, two arms if you'd like. You can even add on more to this if you'd like by lifting up and holding, shifting out to the side, coming back in, and then lowering back down. If you wanna hold it out there a little longer, you're just gonna get more work out of this. So you can always pause the video, do a bit more if you'd like. Let's try doing one more set on each side. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Good, okay, come on back into the center here. So let's go ahead and go into our stretches now. So I want you to go ahead and tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin towards your chest into a cat pose. So round out your spine, push open those shoulder blades, flare that rib cage across your back, and then let's release that and do the opposite. Lift through the tailbone, lift through the neck. Possibly be very careful with your neck here as you bring your chin out in front of you and feel that curve and that droop opening up the whole front side of the body. And then let's go ahead and do the opposite again. Come up into your cat, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, round out, pull apart those shoulder blades, and then do the release of that through neutral, and then into your cow pose. your knees wide or narrow. Reach those arms out long. You can press the palms down or bring the elbows down, and the head can come nicely down in between your arms, encouraging your head to come close towards the floor while you push your hips back to the heels. So nice stretch here. And then if you'd like, you can stay down like this, but just take your palms, walk them over to one side. See how far your body wants to go and feel a really nice stretch all the way up the side. Keep your breath going in and out. And let's go ahead, come across the front, and we'll do the same on the other side. Walk it over, reach across, breathe. Encouraging the stretch to keep going further, keep reaching. Good, okay, come on back to the center, right out front again, and then draw yourselves back up onto your hands and knees. Okay, let's go into a little bit of mobility stretching for our hips. So we're gonna take one leg and we're gonna bring it out to the side and out in front of us. So you might wanna come up here and walk the foot out, and then gently come down, or you might stay down here, walk the leg out, however it works best for you. I want you to bring your foot out, but off to the side. So if you stay down here, I want you to rock yourself back and forth and find where this foot needs to be. So depending on what work you want to get done on that ankle, if you want to work on some mobility in your ankle, then you may want to have your foot further back. Then you can get more of a bend in there, and then less pushback, less mobility in the ankle there. Or if you want to have it a little further forward, you can get a little deeper into your hips. So it's up to you. We're gonna rock back and forth at your own pace. Take your time. You're gonna feel a nice stretch through the spine, through the hips, through the groin, underneath in your hamstring, especially when you push back here. And just rock yourself back and forth, encouraging that movement in the hips. At either end, give yourself a little hold. And let's do two more. So one here, and then another one. Okay, let's come back. You can bring that leg back underneath the hip there, and then let's step the other leg out. Find where you think it's going to be. You want the knee also to stay safely over top of the ankle. You don't want it tipped inwards, so you want to make sure that the knee stays directly over top of that ankle. So peek at that too as you're going in and out. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and rock back and forth. Adjust that foot anytime you need. Forward and back. So I'm feeling it all the way up through my spine, and then I feel it down through my groin, into my inner thigh, my hamstring on this front leg, and then on my back leg, I'm feeling it in the hip flexor and the quadricep on the front of the leg. Keep your breath going. Let's try two more. Good, okay, come on back to the center. Okay, walk that leg back in, lift yourself up. Okay, we're gonna do a nice side stretch next. So I just want you to take one leg out to the side, lengthen it out, and reach the opposite arm up and over, and then bring it back down. And do that again. Reach it up and over. So you're balancing up here, use your core, and then lift up and over. Good, let's switch sides. So lengthen the leg out to the side, support yourself there nice and long, and then opposite arm comes up and over, and then bring it back, and then up and over, and then bring it back. Good, okay, let's come down onto the floor next. Okay, so walk ahead, and then come back so you have some mat behind you, okay? And you can hold on to your thighs if you want, round out your spine, roll yourself back nice and slow, okay? And you might wanna turn towards me if you wanna see me a little better, or maybe you can do it just by listening. So I want you to take your knees now above your hips, and I want your feet and ankles to be about a 90-degree angle here. You're gonna open your arms wide out to the side with your palms down. Now your legs can be together if you prefer, you can have them wider. And then I want you to take both legs slowly over to one side, control the movement, and then slowly come back up, and then over to the other side. Okay, and you can do that again a few times back and forth. So the slow controlled movement, you're using your core to move the legs back and forth. So you're gonna feel that there. Plus you're pressing your palms down into the floor as you do this, working on the mobility in the spine. Okay, back and forth. Okay, and make sure you're breathing. You're not holding your breath. As you're holding your core muscles, keep the breath going in and out. You might even feel some movement going on, adjustment going on in your spine. Back and forth. Okay, let's try 2 more of these. And last one. Okay, come on back to the center with your knees above your hips and bring your feet down. So your knees are bent still. And now we're gonna work on our hips a little bit more. So I want you to take your knees over to one side together and then up and over to the other side, just by keeping your feet pivoting on your feet on the floor and feeling less movement now in the spine. The hips will move a little bit. More focus now right in those hip sockets, moving your leg bones back and forth. You can keep your hands out if you want to the side, and encourage at each side a little gentle press. Encourage that movement over and then to the other side right there, over. Okay, let's do 2 more of these ones. And the last one here. Good, okay, come back to the center. Now we're gonna take one leg up in the air and I want you to draw the knee into your chest. Okay, and you might wanna support it from the outside on the shin, draw the knee in, or you can come underneath if you want and pull the leg in that way. So then we're gonna point the toes on that leg that you're holding on to. If you want more, lengthen out that bottom leg as well, make it nice and long. Draw that knee up to the chest, nice and snug. Feel the deep stretch that's going on through the hip, the glute, the hamstring here. You can also shift the knee slightly off to the side if you want to as well, or you can keep it in the center. Wherever it feels best to you, hold it there and breathe. Good, okay, let's release that leg, put that foot down. Let's do the same stretch on the other side. So draw the leg up, bring it in towards you, holding gently to the shin or behind. Point through the toes, draw the knee in as close as you like. Lengthen the bottom leg if you want. Hold there if you want a little shift to the side, or stay in the center. Keep your breath moving. Very good. Okay, release that. Bring your feet both down to the floor. Now let's take one leg and cross it right over top of the other one. So if you want, take the right leg right over top of it, nice and snug. If you have the right leg on top, you're gonna let your knees fall to the left side. So gently bring those legs down. At the same time, the arms are wide to the side. And we're gonna hold here a moment, pressing both shoulders down. You can add a rotation in your head if you'd like to turn away from your legs. Okay? And here you can also encourage the leg down further if you want even more rotation. This should feel really good through the spine, through the glute back here, all the way up to the shoulder. Breathe. Good, okay, release that slowly. Engage the core, draw the legs back up, undo that. Well, let's do the same on the other side, cross it over. And now coming over to the other side, slowly with control. Arms are wide, pressing down, rotating as much as you like. And keep that breath going, keep encouraging the rotation. And breathe. You can wrap yourself up into a tiny ball with the hands over top of the shins. You can tuck your chin in, or you can come here. You can have the knees wide or narrow, whatever feels good to you here. And then we're gonna sit ourselves up next. We're just about done. I'm probably gonna go about a minute over here just to finish us off. But when you're ready, go ahead and take yourself to sit up so you can extend the legs up, tip yourself up slow. And then, if you'd like to sit comfortably, up nice and tall, and we're gonna just do a little bit more rotation for the spine. So if you'd like, take the opposite hand towards the knee. You can press the palm into the floor behind you and rotate around, lifting tall. And then you can release, come around the other side, reach across, press the palm into the floor behind you, lift tall, and rotate. Rotating right up through the head as well. Okay, come on back to the center. We're gonna fold forward, so just reach out in front of you, let your body go,
Reach out long, encourage yourself to round out through the spine and the head. Keep going, keep reaching. Good, and then roll yourself up, and then let's reach behind us, and then puff out our chest so you're leaning back. Press the palms into the floor, then lift up through your chest. I'll just show you from the side here. Reach back and round out, pulling those shoulders back, lifting through your chest. Be careful with your neck. Only go back as far as you're comfortable, but really feel a nice stretch across the chest, the front of the arms, the front of the shoulders, and breathe. Good. Okay, release all of that. Come back to the center. Okay, we're all done for today, so I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you're got yourself moving and feel warmed up, and feel free to repeat this class many times over, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, bye-bye.